Hey guys, we are back to reality. Once again, our vacation is over. We have been gone for 6 days and I got a feeling the garden is not gonna look the best, but it's been getting really cool at night while we were gone. Some parts of the Adirondacks actually were into the low 30s, like 34. It's been into the mid 40s here, so not quite as cold, but I wanted to show you guys what the garden looks like after we've been gone for almost a week. We had someone coming to take care of the chickens, but I didn't want to burden them with taking care of the garden and watering the garden and stuff like that. So on the porch, everything is pretty much gone. The lavender is really the only thing that I have growing in the porch, which is looking really good. So I will show you guys. I started, if you remember, something ate all of my beans. Well, I started beans in pots a little while ago, so I will show you guys those. Can you look at these chickens? Good thing there's not any flowers planted there. Jerks. So these are my beans. These ones aren't really doing great. I don't think I'll get anything from these before we get our first frost. These ones have lots of flowers on them. If you can see here, since they're sitting on the grill, when Chris was warming the grill up to cook on it, he forgot to move the plants. So they got a little burnt. So I don't know if I will get anything from those purple beans either. At this point, it is what it is, and I will have to do something different next year. Let me show you what our yard looks like, because it is a mess, a hot mess. Alright, if you can see, this hill is starting to get a little overgrown. The greenhouse needs to be cleaned out, but I got all winter and spring for that. The pool's over there. We should be draining that here in the next week or so. I bet the garden looks a lot different to you guys from the last time you saw it. So if you remember, on this trellis here was what I thought was squash, but turned out to be pumpkin. I have one little pumpkin growing. Let me see, right there. But the rest of the plants are dead. My actual yellow squash got taken over by powdery mildew, as a lot of people's gardens this time of year. So I don't know if that pumpkin will ripen or not up there. There's actually quite a bit of shade here. It's kind of nice. It's supposed to be in the 70s today, but I'll probably pick those squash and probably pull out those plants. They're pretty nasty looking, and just put them in the garbage. You don't want to, anything with powdery mildew, don't burn it, don't put it in your compost, just put it in the garbage, because you don't want that spreading to your little area. So the cucumbers, as you know, I've had a hard time with the cucumber beetles and the squash bugs, but these still, like, oh my gosh, these are giant. So here I was thinking that I wasn't going to get to make another batch of pickles, but I think, I mean, look at this thing. It's as long as my head. And these plants, I mean, there are some dead leaves, but for the most part, they look pretty good. I should be able to pick, oh geez, easily 20 cucumbers from these. Actually, you can see the little pumpkin here. I don't know what to do with that. Over here is my zinnias and calendula. I will probably have to pick some of those, put them in my dehydrator and dry them out. Weeds here. These cucumbers were kind of taken over by powdery mildew as well. So they kind of stopped producing as much as they were. There's still some. There's 2 I see on this side. But these ones, what is this weird looking bug? He's got like spines on his back. Let me show you him. The wind started to pick up. I didn't want him to blow on me. There's another one up there. Are they like Pokemon? Are they the evolved form of cucumber beetles? I see an ant there. So I'll probably have to pull these cucumbers out, pick the 2 that I see. I mean, there's some up here hanging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But they're about as long as my thumb. I don't know if they'll be able to grow before they actually are gone. Over here, you guys know my corn. We need to lock this garden down like Fort Knox next year. And then strawberries, they're past their prime, so I'll have to weed those out. The monarchs are all over my zinnias. Let me see if I can show you guys. There's the one there. And then this one over here. Bumblebees. Oh, there's a little one. Well, I'm at least glad that my garden is good for something. These 2 purple tomatoes, they fell over, so I've kind of just let them fall. The chickens seem to just pick at this plant. They don't really bother the other ones. The other day when we came home, well, yesterday when we came home, we came out to the garden just to do a quick walk through, and I had noticed the tomatoes primarily looked really good, but I had saw some hornworm damage, and sure enough, we picked about a handful of hornworms off the tomato plants. They were primarily on the white cherry tomatoes and the purple beauty tomatoes, and it was weird because all 5 or 6 of them had the wasp eggs in them. So, and at first I was just gonna let nature take its course with the wasp eggs and let it live a painful, slow death, but I said screw this and gave them to the chickens anyway. So let me show you guys the tomato and pepper bed. So as you can see, this trellis is working great. They are at the top of that trellis. So we have the white cherries here. Next year I'm only going to do 1 of those because holy moly, I know what the stivers mean when they say they produce. They gave us so many cherry tomatoes. And over here next to the cherry tomatoes are the Romas. There's a lot of red in there. The zinnias that the monarch was loving on. Some more Romas and calendula down there. Marigolds are just crazy. San Marzano on the end. My basil kind of went to flower, but there's been a lot of pollinators at it, so I'm not mad at it. You see this monarch? He's just like hanging out. The purple beauty peppers are still looking good. You know, they still have new peppers on them. So I'll probably pick maybe a dozen or so. Look at this monster. So they look good. Rest of the peppers look pretty good. Lots of tomatoes. The closer I look, the more tomatoes I see. So I'm gonna have to come out after we pick up the kids. There is all sorts of pollinators in this garden. Bumblebees, honeybees, the monarchs again. Love the zinnias. I would just love to have like a flower bed that is just flowers in my garden. Look at this. You see him in this flower here? Oh! Oh my gosh! It flew right in front of my face. These zinnias are almost as tall as me. I'd say they're 5 feet tall. And if you've never planted zinnias before, they bush out. So they go a long way and you get so many flowers. Let me show you quick. This is just 2 seeds. And look. Monarchs love them. Look at them. I could really just hang out here. I have not seen this many pollinators in my garden. The chickens are eating a purple tomato. They actually really like these white cherry tomatoes as well. These things just come off. If they're ripe, they'll just pull off. Let me show you how they go crazy. So that is the garden tour. Look at these tomatoes behind me. They still look really good. It's supposed to be, I know all of you guys in the south are like, it's 100 degrees, and I'm up here when it's 80. A couple days ago in Maine, we're like, oh my gosh, it's 80 degrees. We were sweating so bad. But we've kind of been in like the 60s. So to go from that to 80s, we were dying. But the sun is really warm today. The breeze feels so beautiful coming off of the river. I just noticed another pumpkin on the ground over there, but the plant is just like totally taken over by powdery mildew. I could sit out here and watch these butterflies all day. They love it. Forget milkweed. It's all about the zinnias. At least my garden is good for something. But that is the updated what my garden looks like. If you can see behind me, just everything is still so nice and green. We actually are losing a lot of leaves. We have so many trees in our yard, and in the fall, it seems like every day we need to be out there raking up the leaves. Last year, I contemplated hiring someone because we were just so busy at work, and Chris said, nope, we're not doing it. We're doing it ourselves. And he was out every night, I feel like, till dark, blowing leaves, putting them on a tarp, throwing them over the bank. And it's probably going to be that same way this year. Yard work is never ending when you have a house. So I wanted to show you guys the side of the garage, because if you know where I planted all the sunflowers, they've kind of come and gone since you guys have last seen that area. And actually a lot must have bloomed while we were on vacation. And you can see which way they point. They're all pointing where they get the most sun. These are my raspberry and blueberry bushes, but the chickens love the mulch, and they just do whatever they want. I mean, the mulch is all the way out here. It's insane. So down here, everything's looking kind of at the end of its life. You know, these sunflowers come and gone. So these were wildflowers. I don't know if I just didn't do a good job spreading them out, or if that's what they do, but in my head, they looked a lot different. These sunflowers, I love these. I think they're the Velvet Queen or something. They're beautiful. That one's beautiful. Look at that cute little one in the back there. Itty bitty baby. These wildflowers. Something ate my borage. That's no longer, but you can see all the sunflowers. Just the weeds too. Chickens in here as well. Chickens. Well, thanks for checking out what probably will be the last garden walk of the season, because I'm gonna go through and pick all of those cucumbers, and this week for sure, this weekend, I'm gonna make pickles And I don't know if I'll have enough for tomato sauce, but I'll see what I can do with those tomatoes because there's a lot and I would hate for them to go to waste. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. We will see you on the next video, guys. Bye. Hi, buddy. Figured I'd end this video with puppies. Crazy puppies. The puppy's not so little anymore. Hi, boys. Boys, hi. Say goodbye to everyone.